All right, there we go. All right. Okay, everybody, let's get started. Let me just get the record up and running. We'll start broadcasting live on social media. Hi, everybody. My name is Fausto Pugliese from Cybertrain University. I'd like to thank you all for being here. We're going to have an excitement. A lot of good excitement has been happening. Obviously, you've seen what's been happening in the market. We had a lot of big moves that happened in the market yesterday. Actually, today was actually a pretty good day, too. There was some really good movers. I'm looking forward to show you some really nice stocks that we've traded. Some of them were up pretty big. And it wasn't really about, why they were up. It's all about following the big iceberg orders. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So, what I want to do is I want to just tell you about what's going to happen in the next 2 days. Now, this is a 2 day event. We used to do it as one day, but you know what? I'm like, how about just giving everyone an opportunity to review what you've learned and come back tomorrow and put it to the test? But we're going to hopefully get every one of you here registered to dive in and learn how to trade. And hopefully, with everything goes well, maybe you could be a part of our family. Now, we got two lessons. Today, we're just going to talk about the reality of the market, how we trade today's markets. We're going to talk about level 3, level 4. I'm going to teach you a little bit about how they work. And then we're going to give everybody the opportunity to come into the trading room live tomorrow morning. And then with that, we're going to give you a quiz. We're going to test you. You're going to test yourself, see if you're qualified to trade. And then we're going to kind of privately do a private live trading together and take everything that you've learned and see what you thought you knew and apply it to the test, where I'm going to actually show you why 90% of people fail in trading. Now, what I'm like to do, so don't forget, it's a 2-part class. If you're watching this recording and you missed what happened today, don't worry about it. You still come tomorrow, catch up where you left off, or you can watch both recordings and go from there. Now, what I like to do is I like to go to the market, and I want to kind of show you a couple of stocks that are moving in the market and what we do here at Cybertrain University and how we trade today's exchanges. And so there were a couple of stocks that are moving in the market. I don't know if everyone saw the stock KAVL, very inexpensive stock. You could see it had a really nice move here at 9:30 in the morning. It ran from $2 and it ran to a whopping $3.70. Now it's up right now 141%. I'm going to bring this up to you down here. I'm just going to show you this right here. Now, this might be a little confusing, a lot of bells and whistles, but I want to kind of show you what we got going on over here. On the left-hand side, hold on, let me get my crayons out here so you guys can follow along. Right here on the left-hand side, these are all our instructors, and right here are all our live traders. Now, all of you are going to be invited in here to come in here. And right here in the middle, you could see this is our live trading chat room. We do live audio broadcast, the first hour and the last hour. But just kind of show you how we're like giving clips of images of what's moving in the market. You could see right here up on top, this was our watch list up here. You could see what we were trading. These are the stocks that were moving. The really nice stock that was moving this morning was the KAVL and, DraftKings, a couple of other ones. Some of them moving, some of them weren't. But we have a watch list that goes on. We do a broadcast, that we do a service where we'll give you alerts, an alert service. These are basically that's happening. And, and then, so kind of show you what's moving is that there are a lot of stocks that are moving in the market, and some are better than others. And when you look at some of these stocks and you start shopping around, you're like, well, why is this stock moving? Why is that one moving? Like, here's another stock that we found this morning too, JOEV. I mean, look at the movement of the stock, $3.80 to $4.80. Now, I want you to do the math. All right. If you bought 1,000 shares of that at $3.60, that's a $3,600 investment. You sold it an hour later. Okay. You're talking about, let's say, an average, you made half, not even a dollar. Let's say half, 50 cents on 1,000 shares is $100,000 a year salary. I don't know about you fellow traders, but I think I'm pretty good with that. That's the difference between, what we do here and, then going out there and saying, oh, let's go trade Amazon. Okay, go risk out there and buy $179 stock. Some of you probably can't afford to buy 1,000. And then you do what's the next biggest mistake. You want to go out there and trade an option. Well, I could trade the option. It's got good up. Yeah, I know. But why go out there and deal with a big spread, time, everything else? You could make your money for the day and you're done for the day. So what I'm going to show you is how we shop for these stocks, but most importantly, why did that stock go up? Why did it go down? And how would we have a game plan? Because I'm going to teach you how to read the future. I'm going to teach you how to read something called iceberg orders. So now before we get started, just out of curiosity for everybody here, anybody here that is not a student of Cybertrain University, just give me a chat back and say, new. Just type in the chat room new. Lee's getting super excited. Well, I'm glad you're getting excited, Lee. Okay, Jacqueline, you're new. Okay, Lee, you're new. Anyone else? Dominic, you're just a trial, new member trial. Ken, you're new. All right. Jim, all right, good. Now we have a lot of students in here that always like to come here and like to learn, always learn something new. And not only that, but they always like to know where they were when they first got started. So that's one of the reasons why we always like to mix it and match it here. All right, so let's talk about Scott 222. Rick, good, perfect. All right, so let me tell you one of the categories why people fail. You see, everyone out there wants to teach you how to make money, all right? And by the way, want a little advice? If you see anybody kind of showing off their car, showing you a big cash on the dashboard of their trading desk or whatever it may be, do yourself a favor, stay away from people like that. Listen, unfortunately, there's a lot of bad actors in here. I've been doing this for 30 years. And you know what? It's not about, and they're probably making the money. I'm not saying they're not, but let me just tell you this. Do you want to learn how to make money, or do you want to learn how to stop losing it? Okay, because everyone here is just trying to make a day's pay. And the way I've learned how to trade, and I'll tell you a little bit about my history, is that I was a market maker. And when they hired you, they hired you because they thought you could be successful. Their concern is that you don't lose money. And the reason that you have to learn first is you have to learn how to stop losing first before you can start making. And a lot of it has to do about being afraid, overconfidence of trading, the greed factor, refusing to take losses, and in the market, people make mistakes like that. And then, obviously they overanalyze things with indicators and newsletters and TV. And you know what? These are the main reasons why people fail. And I want to kind of teach everybody here what you have to do to eliminate a lot of these things that are here. Okay, that's what we need to focus on. So now you have to ask yourself, how do you know which stock to trade? So I'm going to ask everyone that question. How do you find and know what you want to trade and not trade? Just to let me know. I want to see how everybody answers this question. Because remember, by you interacting kind of helps us all, knowing how to trade. Evaluate the R volume. Jacqueline doesn't know. Okay. Anyone else? Orders, Rick. Okay. Just kind of reading this off and seeing what people are picking out. If you can't answer this question, give me a question mark. That's really what comes down to it. Business and fundamentals late. All right. Well, let me tell you how I was trained and how hopefully I'm going to teach all of you to do the same. You follow the money. That's all we do. We follow the big money. You got to remember, we are the ants on the floor. We're just trying to get the crumbs. There are people like BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, high frequency trades, big institutions. They are, they're interested in buying companies, selling companies. Like, I'll give you an example. Past 2 days, we were trading Nordstrom, okay, the big department store. They just came out with news that they want to go private, okay? They want to buy back their stock. The stock's been doing great. It's been doing great today. It's been doing great yesterday. Who's buying it? And you and I, maybe you and I could benefit from a little bit, but you need a lot of shit. You need someone to buy a lot of those shares to buy back the company. Well, how do you know they're really buying it? How do you know that maybe it was just speculation? These are things that we're going to teach you how to follow the big orders. So before I explain that to all of you, let me kind of introduce myself first for some of you that do not know me and some of you that do. I started trading over 30 years ago. I'm actually one of the original day traders that started in today's industry. When I started, it was about 1,000. Now there's over, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of you around the world. I started the first educational school in the industry. I've known some of the biggest traders in the industry, and great traders surround themselves with great traders. And we always learn from each other. So, and I enjoy teaching people like you because one of the worst parts about being in this business is that there's a very big failure rate. And when there's a big failure rate, there's a lot of negativity. And when there's a lot of negativity, everybody's going to say, well, I tried it and I lost, whatever. So I am here to hopefully educate all of you to kind of realize if trading is for you or not, because listen, it's not for everybody. Now, for all of you here also, I'm going to give you access to my book at the end of the presentation. You can actually, it's a #1 bestseller. You can go to Amazon. You could pay me $47, or you could stick around. I'll give it to you at the end for free. So you probably don't want to miss it. It's a great read. It's a color book, great pictures and diagrams. It's color. You'll love it. All right. Now, also, I've been showcased on a lot of the exchanges and TV stations, everything. Because the thing is, I love to go out there and teaching people, what they should do and what they should not do. That's how tradings work. But listen, it's not about me. Okay. This is all about you. You're here for the reason is to know that, listen, how could I do this as a career? How could I, I'm about to retire and, I need to make supplemental income and Social Security is not paying enough. Or, I lost a ton of money with a broker and you know what? I want to take matters in my own hands. These are things that what this is all about, because like I said, I live here in New York. This is the financial capital of the world. I've learned by some of the best traders in the industry. Some of them live in my town. You're not going to beat these people, but you know what? They know that everyone here wants to, succeed at it. And you can't convince everyone, but that's why I'm here, because if I can convince you, you could figure it out on your own. So regarding about that, to be a good trader, the reason why people fail is they keep looking backwards. Okay. They always look at these indicators, these newsletters, these analysts. You have to understand something, that by the time you know what's going on, and by the time you hit the button, it might be too late. Okay. Because you're looking at, what happened in the past. We need to focus on the future. So the future is stop looking at the rear view mirror and let's start looking at the front view mirror. Okay. And that's what most traders do. They make that mistake. They start looking at things at like Bollinger Bands, MACDs, Fibonacci's. And let me tell you, they're great, but they're invented by mathematicians. Okay. They haven't been invented by traders. And you know what? What's great about them is they're always right, but they're always lagging. You're focusing on historical data. You need to focus on the future data. And when you have all these indicators out there and you're knowing which one is better, you listen to one person and he tells you and he convinces you how great it is. And then someone tells you why he reads it better than him. And next thing you know, you probably got 6 monitors with 1,000 charts on it. And you're like, wow, this looks pretty cool. But you never hit the button. And by the time you do, it's usually too late. So what is the right indicator to use, everybody? The right indicator is what we call the KISS method. Keep it super simple. Okay. I could tell you that probably 90% of you are reading reading the market more complicated than I would even read it. Okay. You end up being an analyst, and that's what it's all about. You're not an analyst. Okay. Analyst it become paralysis. That's what ends up happening, because those indicators are always lagging. So let's go stop looking at the past. Let's start looking at the future and see how the future actually works. Well, the first question I have to ask you is this, okay? It's within the question. What makes a stock move in the first place, right? Well, usually it's right there in front of you. Supply and demand. But that's only partial credit. What really makes things move is the big orders. Now, when it comes to those big orders, how do we find them? You have to look in the future. Okay. Finding those orders is basically the basics of trading in the first place. Now, there are 4 ways of viewing orders: level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Now, does anyone here have any of these? What's the highest one you guys have? If you don't know how to answer this question, give me a big fat question mark, just out of curiosity. How does everybody know these? 2. Lee has none of them. Ron, you have 3. Okay. Just looking at reading everyone's quote here. Dom, you got 3. Robert has no idea. He's got a question mark. Scott, question mark. Okay. Just kind of reading these off. Come on. Listen, there's almost 100 people in here. Don't be shy. You don't, no one's going to pick on you. No one's going to yell at you. No one's going to rat you out. Okay. If you don't know, you don't know. If you don't have the answer, you don't have the answer. So let me kind of explain to you what the difference are if you don't know the answer. Level 1 basically just tells you the best bid and best offer. Okay. You get this on any platform. You get it on your, you get on anything. Okay. Google reviews, your Schwab account, it tells you the daily range, the 52-week high, the average volume, which is like worthless. I mean, you really don't need that. I mean, it's what you really want to know is, what are you doing for me now? Okay. So level 1 is great. It was good back in the 80s. Then in the 90s, we all offered level 2. Level 2 was great back then, but it's been outdated since the 90s. Okay. And the reason why it was great back then is because, and let me kind of show you what we got right here, is that right here you got buyers and you have sellers. The only problem here is that you're seeing what the stock is trading at that exchange, like the New York, the NASDAQ. You're seeing what the best price is trading there at and how many shares. You're not seeing all the bids and all the offers. So you kind of more trading blind. Okay. So what do we need to trade successfully? Something called level 3. Okay. Now, it looks like I got my thing all messed up here. All right. So, my question to you is this. I don't know if we can do a quick poll here, but does anyone here have level 3 quotes? Just give me a yes or no. I think we have oh, there they go. Thank you very much. Here's the poll that we got going on here. Just let me know. Yes, no, I'm not sure. So for some of you afraid to type it in the chat, we're going to share the poll with everybody so everybody can see everybody answers this question. Now, as everyone's answering this question, I'll explain to you what you're looking at. So right here, you have the buyers, and right here, you have the sellers. Those are buy orders. Those are sell orders. Okay. We're looking at Apple. All right. Now you have 3 columns. The first column is telling you how many orders are out there. The second column is telling you how many shares make up that order. And the third column is telling you the price. Whoever wants to buy the stock for the most amount of money is up on top. Whoever wants to buy for less money is down at the bottom. Same thing over here in the ask. Whoever wants to sell their shares for the least amount of money is up on top. Whoever wants more money is down at the bottom. So what you're looking at is one big market, one big negotiating market. Okay. Who's the buyers? Who's the sellers? Where they are at the market. Now you're looking at the actual NASDAQ exchange. Okay. When I started, you had to be licensed to look at this data. Okay. And then when I started, I had to pay $1,000 a month to get this data. Now you get it for $15 a month. Okay. You don't got to be licensed anymore. You don't have to see on the exchange, and you can only pay $15. Now, $15 you could see be like, that's still a lot of money. I mean, like, or why would I pay a subscription for something, if I don't need it? Well, let me explain to you what we're looking at, and then you'll see the value of it. All right. So let me just clear this out. And I'm going to end the poll. I'm going to share the poll with everybody so you can see how many of you here do not have NASDAQ level 3. So, there we go. Let me change the slide. So reason what we're going to use level 3 for is we need to find the iceberg orders. That's the reason for it. So iceberg orders are big block orders at a specific price. Okay. It's not what's on top of the water. It's what's at the bottom of the water. And I use this because I came up with the word of the Titanic. I don't know if I guess everybody's familiar with the Titanic. Sad story, all those people died on that ship. You didn't realize how close they were towards the iceberg because it wasn't what's on top. It's what's on the bottom. And what we need to focus on, and which a lot of you don't have the radar to look at the bottom, because you don't want to hit an iceberg. You hit an iceberg, you're going to sink, and we're all going, you don't want to die. And in other words, you don't want to blow up your account. So you need to know where those iceberg orders are. And that iceberg order is what makes major support and resistance levels. And there are specific orders at specific prices. They're not at every single price. There's an order at every price, but there are not big block orders at every price. So the overall size is what we're going to look for when it comes to trading. And remember, I came up with that word a long time ago. I'm going to coin it, and I did a video on it of those iceberg orders because of that. Now, getting back to iceberg orders, basically we need to see what happened in the past, okay? Because the past sometimes will be indicative of the future, but not always. And that's what's going to happen and what we're going to look at next. So let's just dive into a couple examples here and see what we're talking about. Here is an example of Tesla, okay? Now, we always want to know where support levels are and where resistance levels are. Well, you can't have a support level unless you have the buyers out there. And when you look over here, you'll notice on the chart, the stock hit a support level right here when it finally came back down. And then when it hit this price around this 174, it went right back up. It went right back to 179. Now, why did it stop at 174? Okay. The only reason why it did that is because on the buy side, when you look all the way down here, you had over 2,000 orders out there that made up over 200,000 shares. Now, you'll notice there are orders everywhere, 3,000, 1,000. This is pretty big, 29,000, 79, but you're talking 200,000. All right. So when you go from 177 and you're like, well, how much lower could it go? Well, the real big order is right there at 174. And that's the reason why it went there. And believe me, it stopped over here and it stopped over here, but the real order was down there. And that's what makes a support level. Okay. The buyers. Now, let me clear this. Now, by the way, every single one of you here, we practice what we preach. Okay. I know a lot of people out there, you always hear the story, people that teach don't trade. Well, you're all going to see it tomorrow, and everybody's going to be invited. Actually, when we're done today, you're all going to be invited to come and see the afternoon, and you don't want to miss it. And then remember, it's a two-part lesson. Tomorrow, we're going to actually, as you're in that trading room and you see what we practice, what we preach, you're all going to be able to come back and see it live. We're going to strategize because you're probably going to have a lot of questions to ask. And also, I want to see how good you did on your quiz, okay? And you might want to see the same. Getting back to resistance levels. Look at this stock, how it went all the way up. Coinbase went to 270 and it came right back down to 145. Now, that's a pretty significant drop. And sometimes you're like, damn, I wish I knew I got out sooner than later, because sometimes you can convert a winner and it could become a loser. How could you have known that? Well, if you look on the sell side, you want to know where the other sellers are on the other side. And you look down here and you could notice right around 270, right down there, there's about 100,000 shares looking to be sold. So listen, I don't know about you, but do you really think a 2,000 share seller is going to make a resistance compared to the 100,000 share seller? Could you just imagine what you're looking at right now? Okay. You know, as well as I do, that there are buyers and sellers out there in the market, in anything. You think you're the only one that's out there trying to buy a house that's competing against it? Problem is you don't know who your competitor is, and you wish that you knew, so you know what you're really paying for it. Well, in the stock market, you can. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but just kind of jumping ahead, I'd rather see this than use some Fibonacci. Okay. Rick has a good question. Do they fill all orders until the big one? Rick, we didn't get to that question, but I'm glad now you're starting to think outside the box. Right now, Rick, what I just need to understand from you and everyone else, Jacqueline, Jeff, Scott, all of you, did I lose anybody yet? Because that's really the next question. Did I lose anybody? Just give me a yes or no. Now, just imagine we've just been talking for about 10 minutes. Look how much you've just learned in 10 minutes, that how much you could have been made better and smarter trading decisions if you knew how to read knew where the other orders are out there, where the street is, where Main Street is. Okay. I'm sorry, where Wall Street is, because you're Main Street. Let's go. Let's look at Boeing, for example. So Boeing is going down. Now, the first thing you have to ask yourself is Boeing took a big hit. Obviously, you know the news on Boeing. You know that the Max jet has been having issues, and unfortunately, that catastrophe sometimes make opportunities for us. Okay, so the question is, how much lower could Boeing go? Right. Well, there's only way to figure that out. Where are the orders? Because some of you be like, oh, there's terrible news. I would never buy Boeing. Listen, is Boeing going out of business? Okay. We think Boeing has only one thing. They do military, they do everything. Okay. But sometimes bad news like that, trickles in and there might be an opportunity to jump in. You got to follow the orders. Now, what happens when you look at the sell side, you'll notice that the sellers are still out there. Okay. So in this example, you have two iceberg orders, one at 177 and 178. All right. Now, the next thing you have to ask yourself is, where are the buyers? Where are the buyers on it? So as the stock is trending down, where are the buyers? The big block buyers are right here. Okay. Right down here at the bottom. 178 and 178 and 177. So as much as you have the icebergs on the where you see on offer, now you're going to see where the buyers are. Now, what do you think happens next? Stock took a big hit, gets right down to that 177. Boom, it shoots up to 180 like that. And you could see it. It took a big hit in the early morning. And once it hit that big hit right in the morning, if you would just wait and you were patient and you didn't lose, just wait. There's your nice trend. Now, has that ever happened to anybody? Do you ever go out there and you sell a stock and as soon as you sell it, the damn thing goes up? Or how about this? You ever buy a stock and as soon as you buy it, it goes down? Has it ever happened to anyone? Dominic says, sure does, right? Don't you feel like they're watching you? You're like, sometimes I feel like they're watching me. You know what the problem is? They're not watching you. You're not watching them. If you knew he was out there, you would never sold it. Because some people freak out. I had a student the other day, new student actually. He said, look, Fausto, I want to take your class, but I got one problem. I'm like, what is it? She's like, I believe everything you're doing, but I did an option trade. Okay. And I bought Tesla and I got called, meaning she bought the stock. She ended up buying it and she was losing a lot of money on it. And she wanted to get out. She was losing a lot of money on the trade. And I said, well, listen, let's go look at it and let's go check it out really quick. Okay. And I said, because she's like, I have to sell it because I can't afford to take a loss. I'm getting crushed right now. I said, listen, you're in a hole. Okay. Tesla's not going out of business. And it could probably go a hell of a lot lower, which I agree with you. And you don't want to lose any more money out there. Why don't we go look and see where the orders are? Well, guess what? We're going to come back and check that out. Okay. And I'll show it to you in the real live markets. But these examples I deal with all the time. And the reason why I'm bringing her up is because this probably happened to you. Let's go over another big buying opportunity. Amazon, trending down, right? Where's the support levels in Amazon? You think the past is going to help you? Well, the only thing that's going to help you is where the future orders are. And if we'll notice, right around 10:15 Eastern time, all of a sudden we start seeing these orders starting to show up. 154,000 share buyer at 171.50. I don't know about you fellow traders. What do you think is going to happen next? Exactly. Hit that support level, hovered there for about 10 minutes. It hit it. Never want to get past that 150,000 shares. Finally hit it. Boom, went right to 173. Why do you think that happened? I don't know. Maybe you had 171 orders out there, 154,000 shares made up of the 171 orders out there. I mean, that's the only way I could see it. I didn't need some, Schenken indicator tell me that. How about this? And by the way, I want to kind of like point something out. Why is there a New York Stock Exchange? Right? Like, why did you have the physical? I mean, I know things have changed, but think about this for a second. Why did everybody go to the New York Stock Exchange? What were they doing down there? What were they doing down there? Anybody know? Why did traders go to New York Stock Exchange? Okay. Oh, very good, Dominic. Great way of explaining it. Okay. Great way of explaining it. To see what the other traders are doing, right? Well, guess what? Wouldn't you want to see what the other traders are doing? You see, now with technology is, after what happened with Hurricane Sandy, everything went electronic. So they didn't need to go to the floor anymore. Now everything's all remote. So, so what are you doing? You think anything has changed? Nothing has changed in ever since the market, from the day it started till today. Only time problems, you have to physically go in there anymore. Let's look at Google really quick. Google's got a big move, right? You know what? Good traders always look to take a profit. How do we know how to take a profit? We need to know where everyone else is trying to get out. And when you work your way down to 150 and you look all the way down here and like, well, you know what? We're about $1 away from a really big iceberg order of 100,000. You think I want to question that guy and try to think like, maybe it's a fake trade. Maybe, I don't believe it. Yeah, go ahead. You don't believe it? When we go to the real market, if you don't believe that's a real order, I will find one of those orders and we'll use your money and we'll go out there and execute that order. And you tell me if it's real or not. And I can almost guarantee right now, I don't think anyone wants to take that bet. Okay. Nobody will take that. Because let me explain something to you. Because people ask me all the time, how do we know that's a real order? How's that real order? Then why is it there? You think the exchange, what do you think this is, the Wolf of Wall Street? Do you think this is like, these are fake companies? You think someone put a fake order out there? You think the exchange is going to allow someone to go out there, 777 people out there, and let them say, hey, NASDAQ, I want to put a fake order because I want to trick Dominic and Margaret and Bill to think I really want to get out of it. I really want to fake them out because I want to put a fake order. They're real orders. Now, they could cancel an order. Let's say anyone could cancel an order, but you really think 777 people are in cahoots with each other? Come on, fellow traders. Don't believe the crap that you watch from everyone else. See, the difference between where I get a little frustrated is that there are people out there that kind of like tell you, oh, don't believe this. This is fake. This is fake. Yeah, you know what? How do you really know it's fake? Okay, you know how you know it's fake? Let's go out there and tell them. And this is what I do this all the time. I'll give you a good example. I do a lot of public speaking, and I had somebody in the audience. I was at one of these money shows, and this guy was just an angry guy, right? And I love when I see these people out there, and the guy goes, "Oh, those are fake orders," and right away I'm like, "Sir, you think it's fake? How about this?" I said, "I'll make you a bet. Okay, how much money you got in your pocket?" He's like, "What does that mean?" Well, you think it's fake, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there and I'm going to execute that order. I just want to make sure that when I lose, I take the money from you to cover it. Now, if it's fake, I will double the money that's in your pocket. Okay. He's like, well, I'm not taking that bet. And I'm like, well, why not? You said it's fake orders. Whatever. I'm like, listen, obviously you're angry. You got yourself in trouble. I don't know who trained you, but you know why not? He was just basically, now he really saw that there were orders out there. And, and that was one of the reasons he got really frustrated, or somebody else told him something differently. Listen, if you want to ever learn from a really good trader, you have to learn from market makers. And there are a lot of them out there. I want to talk about Tesla really quick. Tesla had a good run here. Okay, good movement. Game plan as a trader, you got to know where to always take a profit. Coming up to 163,000 share seller out there. I don't know how many times I need to show it to you, but they do this on every single stock. What happens when we get to that 175? I don't know. Maybe it comes back down, right? But I don't know about you. 166 to 175, that's a pretty nice profit. But you understand Tesla, it's Tesla, it was $300. Maybe it's going back to 300. Yeah, let somebody else try to get to 300. But as of right now, I want to get out of it. By the way, anyone here trade options? Anybody trade options here? Okay, great. What makes you think makes an option move? It's the movement of the stock. Don't you think you need to be a good stock trader first before you can be a good option trader? Don't you know that some of those big iceberg orders are covers for those option calls? And listen, as you become a trader here at Cybertrain University, we show you this stuff live. It's all going to make sense. Listen, there are a lot of different people out there that have a good strategy and it might work for them, but it might not work for you. You got to start getting back to basics before you can start getting more complicated on knowing how to short and how to, trade leaps and, whatever it is, all these crazy ways, styles of people trade. Now let's dive into something called level 4. If you thought level 3 was good, wait till you see level 4. So level 4, envision this. You actually have right here the level 3 quotes, right? You see all the orders, but now you're seeing it on a heat map. Now you're seeing who's out there, if they canceled, how long they've been out there for. So imagine, and I know people love charts. Listen, I like charts too. I mean, but the thing is, to have a chart confirm an order, you need to see it out there. And now when you're seeing it on a heat map, it just makes it that much clearer. And by the way, these are things that we're going to show you live in the market. Because remember, like I said before, we practice what we preach. Now, let me just clear these out and change the slide here. And let me explain to you what we got here. There was a big buyer in Tesla right here around 9:42 in the morning, 9:44, and you'll notice that it disappeared. Okay, what happened was the person was out there, didn't get executed, so he started running the stock up. But if you look at it over here on the right, you won't see as big as an order as it was there before. So what's nice about level 4 is that you can see back test and make sure if he was out there and then where he is right now. And I'll give you a good example here, okay? I want to show you something pretty cool. There's a stock that's moving pretty good here, Sones, okay? And I want to point something out. Looking at this stock right here, I want to do a little test. Where do you see resistance levels on SOUN? See if everybody can answer this question. All right, some of you are saying right here, about this 20, okay. What else? Where else you guys think? You got some resistance levels here around 780. Anyone else? Anybody else see some resistance levels? Okay, one of you just said right here, right there. Okay, good. 740, okay. Now, this is the $64,000 question. How do you really know that there was resistance there? And if the stock was to go higher, how do you really know that where was resistance in the past is going to be the same resistance in the future? Okay. So, question to ask all of you, one more question. What makes stocks go up and go down, everybody? How do they go up and down? Just write BNS. Could everyone just write BNS in the trading room just to make sure everybody's here paying attention? I didn't hear from you, Greg. I didn't hear from you, Jim, John, Paul, Rick, Scott. Guys, what are you doing? You're here to trade. You're here to learn. Just if you don't know the answer, just write BNS. Okay? Buyers and sellers. Buyers and sellers. I just want to make sure that I've got a pulse. Okay. You really want to know where you want to find the orders? Where do you guys see orders? Where do you see a big block order on the stock? Let's see if you can figure this one out. Dominic, you're right. What else? Scott, you're right. Congratulations. You passed the test. Bill, you're right. Margaret, you're right. So let's point it out. You got 134 million shares looking to be bought at 820, and you got another 300,000 share buyer at 750. So you could see why the stock hit resistance levels here, and then you could see what happened. He pushed down the stock here. He pushed it down a little bit more, and then he really came down here, which is right around that resistance levels. And then you could see that it came down, and all of a sudden, this guy started showing up here. And then you could see how it got darker, darker, and darker. But the real resistance level is at 820. Okay. Let's go back to the chart, right? Let's go back to the chart. We said, now let me eliminate everything here. So you said 750. Delete this one. And that really pretty much I would delete this one. So you're talking right around there, around that 720. Right around that 720. That's realistically where the big support levels are and the big resistance levels are. Okay. I mean, because resistance levels were at 740 earlier this morning, but it's not there anymore, right? Now it dropped down. That guy dropped it down. So if your game plan was say, oh, resistance was in the past was 740. No. It's 920 now. But you wouldn't know that unless you saw the orders out there. Okay. So did I confuse anybody? See what I'm saying? That's what trading is all about. And this works with every stock. It works on Google. It works on NVIDIA. It works on, I mean, I don't know if anyone here, have any of you guys subscribed to my YouTube channel? If you haven't done it yet, I mean, I had some Instagram, TikTok. I don't know what you're a fan of, but I did some great videos on some nice short videos too. I have some longer ones too, but we got over 3,000 videos there. Look at the popular ones. You can get this data yourself. So good. I'm glad a lot of you got it. Now, if you haven't got it, listen, we post a link up there now. Instagram, YouTube, and just click on that. I mean, here's our channel right here. Please click on where it says subscribe, and, watch some of the videos here. I mean, we got great videos, the short ones. I mean, this one right here was pretty awesome. These are new ones I just came out with. This one right here, the how to trade the Fed rate. But you could do most popular. You see this one got like over 2,000 views. I mean, there's some pretty good ones here. Where's the good? I had one that was on. I also have a cooking channel, by the way. But yeah, these are all brand. We just started doing some shorts, but we have some really good long ones. You can see here on the book viewer, most popular. 31 views. How to trade it on Thinkorswim. You can get level 4. I mean, there's some how to trade the matrix all out there. So please subscribe to the channel, and so you guys could get those alerts and everything. All right. So listen, you're more than welcome. All right. So let's go back and talk about what we covered. Being very too analytical. I mean, you could sit there and you could be like this guy, have 5 charts up there. It's all about keeping it very simple. So when I invite all of you guys to come to the trading room and you come back tomorrow, you'll see that a lot of what we covered is not that in that involved. The hardest thing to teach you is the greed and discipline. That's what it's all about. It's the greed and the discipline. You learn those 2 things, comes with experience, because it's not about making money. It's about controlling losses. Now, what we're going to do is tomorrow, who could come tomorrow for the second part of the class? Who can come tomorrow? Lee, you can. Bill, you can. Good. All right, so this is what I want to do. I don't have it up here right now, but we're going to post up the link for everybody here that wants to come live and join the trading room right now. All right. Let me just bring that up right here because I don't have the link. Could you guys post up the link for the $9 trial? It wasn't on here because I want to invite everybody to come up for the trial. Just give me a. There we go. All right. So here's the trial. Now, what we're looking now, you could do it now or you could do it tomorrow. Okay. But we got for $9. I'm going to invite all of you guys to come into the trading room for 1 week. Okay. So if you click on that link right now, for $9, you'll have access to a bunch of workshops and you'll have access to a bunch of trials, access to the live trading room. So if you want to wait till tomorrow to do it, I mean, you can wait till tomorrow. Okay. But if you want to get access to it now and kind of see this stuff come to, see how we're going to trade the afternoon. I mean, today's been a great day. The market's up 300. Been a lot of good stocks that are moving. Click here now, register right now for $9. And by the way, money back guarantee too. If you listen, I don't need your $9. So this just tells me if you're a real person or not. We don't want to invite anybody into the trading room. There's 100 of you here. I don't know who you are, where you came from. So this kind of just, it tells us if you're a real person or not. When you register for this, we ask you 5 questions. Let us know a little about you, what kind of trader you are. You'll also get my ebook, okay, with this trial, and you get you get some workshops. So, and then when you come back tomorrow, you're gonna learn a lot, okay. So just click on that link, register, and then also you're gonna get an email. Take the quiz, right? And we'll get the quiz taken care of too, okay. And we'll see how you guys do. We're going to go over the answers on that quiz. And also when you take your quiz, it will tell you how you did. All right. They'll let you know if you passed, failed, whatever it is. So quiz is actually pretty fun. Take it seriously. It's only like 10 questions. All right. Any questions before we go, fellow traders? Any other questions? No problem, Margaret. Listen, we're not done right now. Remember, you got a week in the trading room. We got another part of the workshop tomorrow. We'll do some live trading. We'll do about a 30-minute workshop tomorrow. You're going to have access to the trading room just right now. Register for the trial, get into that trading room, get ready, and then take your quiz. But if you're not ready, no problem. If you don't want to read my book, you don't want to be in the trading room, you want to wait to see live trading tomorrow, you can do that. But it's only $9. You really got nothing to lose. All right? It's just more of an application fee to tell us. And by the question I had, we're not going to charge anything more or less. This is not we're not going to scam you that you're going to lock you in some subscription or anything like that. We don't do any of that stuff. Okay. I got a reputation. I got a 5-star rating on Google. I don't need to make people think that we're trying to get and a gotcha. You know what I mean? What time live tomorrow? You can see it right here. It will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Okay. At 10 a.m. tomorrow. What time's the live trading class? 10 a.m. But if you register for the cyber group room, okay, you'll be able to access the trading room now. We'll do live commentary. You're not going to hear any audio right now. We do live commentary at 2:30. So just to everybody know, you'll have access to get in there. And also, everyone that does register, you're going to be able to talk to an education advisor here. And listen. There's nothing better than to be able to talk to someone at a company that really knows that, to answer your questions. All right. Any other questions, everybody? Anything else? Yeah, everyone, like Margaret just saying, everyone just feel free to come in there. Ron has a question. Level 3, along with Insight, Fausto, has been a best value training education. Thank you very much, Ron. That's very thoughtful. And you know what? Our goal here, just to let everybody know, is a lot of you traders really don't qualify to trade. And that's okay. Think about going to the doctor and you think there's something wrong. A bad doctor will do the surgery because he wants to get paid from the insurance company. A good doctor will be like, listen, you're perfectly fine. Here's all your tests. You're okay. So, and we all know we'd rather go to that doctor than the other doctor. Well, the only way to see that is we need to do our homework on you. You want to make sure that what you're getting yourself involved in is the right thing. Some people just like, let me go out there and trade. If I like it, then I'll learn how to do it. Yeah, that's not the person I want someone to trade my money or do, brain surgery on my loved one. So you know what? You got to start somewhere. But I can tell you this: trading does require, education. It does require a little money. Nothing is free. Okay. If you're looking for free stuff, as much as you think there's a lot of free content out there, believe me, at the end of the day, those books, those videos do not talk back to you. Okay. All right, traders. So I look forward to see you all in the live trading room this afternoon. And then we'll be back here at 10 a.m. Make sure you take your quiz. Make sure you book your appointment to talk to the education advisor to tell you a little bit, to kind of answer your questions. And then hopefully you and I will be able to talk. Okay. So I will see everybody, in the trading room. If not, I'll see you back here at 10 a.m. If you're watching this recording because you missed it during the day hour, don't worry about it. You could still register. You can still have access to all that good stuff. Good luck, everyone. Happy trading. I'll see you then.